So for young people, it's a very difficult time, especially because the internet services, the data services are slow. This is particularly for you if you're a freelancer or if you have a skill that you have utilized to actually get in, some temporary or freelance projects from around the world. But what can actually help you in enhancing your skills is further skill upgradation and qualifications. So we have some great news for you. Like always, the Chevening scholarships have been announced by the UK High Commission. This is an ongoing program that allows about 40 to 50 different meritorious students to get admitted in programs across UK, and there's a good balance of how they're able to meet these expenses through the scholarship. Likewise, there's also the South Asia Journalism Fellowship, commonly known as the SAJP, and this is aimed at mid-career journalists from South Asian countries like Afghanistan, Bangladesh, India and Pakistan, Sri Lanka, etc. It's an 8 weeks program and the deadline for this 10th of October. What more do these programs entail? Who are they most suitable for? What are your chances? How do you improve your chances of getting selected for this fellowship and for these scholarships? Let's find out. We have with us Mr. Pawan Dhande, who is the Director of Communications with the British High Commission. He's spent a lot of time in Pakistan now and has interacted with a number of members who are Chevening alumni and also meritorious students who are perfect for this fit. So let's ask him about this. Hi, good morning, Pawan. How are you?
Good morning, Sidra. Great to be here in Karachi. I'm afraid I've brought the weather from Islamabad.
I think that's fantastic. We've brought the monsoons all over Pakistan. But please tell me more about the Chevening scholarships. I think a lot of students, a lot of mid-career professionals aspire for it. But there is a lot of, there's an air of mystery around it. People say that sometimes they're unable to understand why they got rejected or how to prepare the best application. So we thought we'll make use of your expertise there.
Yeah, absolutely. And genuinely, the Chevening Fellowship and Programme is one of my favourite things, I think, that the British High Commission does here in Pakistan. So this is a fully paid scholarship for students available to anyone across the country. And that's to do a master's in the UK. And that covers your fees, that covers your flights, that covers your accommodation, and you also get some spending money as well. So it's a really prestigious scholarship. We normally do between 40 to 50 students per year, but it is also super competitive. There's about 6,000 students that apply for this from Pakistan each year. We aim it at mid-career professionals, so it's not quite for those that are just finishing their undergraduate degrees, but
they must have some working experience.
Exactly that. So we ask that they've got at least 2 years working experience. And for us, we're looking for those particularly that think that they've got leadership potential that can go on and do great things back here in Pakistan as well.
So first and foremost, I mean, a lot of people get confused with the fact that do you first apply for the Chevening scholarship or first do you get accepted in the program that you're going for? And do all programs in UK and all universities honour the Chevening scholarship?
There's a lot of courses and a lot of programs. Most of the universities do, you can go onto our website chevening.org and see a full list of the courses and the programs there. People, I think generally of those that have done it in recent years, politics, economics, business, climate.
I love the fact that, we were recently working in the last term when Sherry Rahman Saiba was the Minister for Climate Change, and she was looking for professionals who have the expertise, who have the understanding, who have perhaps pursued a master's in it. And it was wonderful to know that so many of the Chevening scholars from Pakistan have actually pursued climate-related subjects in masters.
And in fact, the Director General of the WWF Pakistan here, Hamad Naki Khan, he is a Chevening alumni as well.
Super.
So it's great that these people are going to the UK.
So you're building the muscle, and perhaps, this of course is a subject very close and very, very important for Pakistan. So Pawan, apply for Chevening scholarship or apply directly to the university to get into the program first?
That's right. So you need to apply for your university course and then you need to apply for Chevening, but if you're going for the South Asia Journalist Programme, that's the 10th of October. If you're applying for the other courses outside of that, then you've got until the 5th of November. And I'd encourage people to apply early as well. Don't leave it last minute. Don't leave it till the 3rd or the 4th and finish your application like I did at school. Try and get them in early and really put some time in for it.
And is there any fees involved? Because a lot of time people do look at the monetary side of it. So when you're making an application to become a Chevening scholar, is there a subsequent fees for the application?
That's the best bit about it. It's all covered by the program, including the visas and the applications and the accommodation, etc. is all included.
How do you think, this program has been running for many years, many decades now. In fact, I've interacted and interviewed many CEOs who also happen to be Chevening alumni. What is the future of it, and do you feel that this alumni plays a very strong role in fostering stronger UK-Pakistan ties?
Yeah, you're right. So last year we actually celebrated the 40th anniversary of the Chevening Scholarship, and I think the fact that it's still going is testament to how much we value it. And we run a really active alumni engagement program across the country. So in Pakistan there's over 2,000 Chevening alumni, and we try and hold events in the city. So the High Commissioner regularly has people into her residence in Islamabad. Sarah Mooney, the Deputy British High Commissioner, will have people here, and we do it as a big group sometimes, but we're also really interested in bringing together thematic groups. So I met some economy specialists in Lahore a few weeks ago. It was really great getting their views on what they think Pakistan needs to do as part of its economic reform. On Wednesday, I'm hosting our first Chevening debate, so we're calling it Chevening Connect, and that's where we get climate kind of themed Chevening alumni to discuss some of the climate issues here and what they think Pakistan, again, needs to do for adaptation and resilience.
It was really interesting. One of my recent guests on the show, someone I've admired for a very long time, is Abia Akram, and she's a wheelchair-bound scholar who's an activist for people with special needs. And I was really, it was wonderful to find out that she was perhaps one of the first Chevening scholars from Pakistan with special needs. So do you have an all-inclusive approach, and how do you make sure that this is inclusive for everyone?
I mean, she's an extraordinary woman. We feel really lucky to have her as an alumni. But it is, for the last few years, our gender split has been about 50-50. So we've had 50% men, 50% women. We try and do it geographically across the country as well. So again, for the last few years, we've had all of the provinces, we've had the North represented as well, but also diversity, and we've had our first trans scholars taking part as well. And last year, I believe we had our first 2 female Hindu scholars as well. So the diversity part of this is really important to
Interesting, very interesting. So everybody gets an equal opportunity. Please go ahead and apply for this and look for the programs which are best suited for you. I think one of the best things about applying for a Chevening scholarship is that sky is the limit. You don't have to limit yourself into just going for programs which are acceptable in Pakistan, which will have you truly see yourself as a global resource. You truly see yourself getting the advantage of a brilliant UK education. But Pawan, tell me something. When we see students and mid-career professionals from Pakistan applying, do you believe language is a barrier? Because if I look at other provinces, if I look at the suburban areas or far-flung districts of Pakistan, the students may be very meritorious with a lot of potential, but their English may not be at par. So how do we make sure that they also get an opportunity to apply for such programs?
It's a really good challenge, and I mean the honest answer is that if you're going to the UK to study, the seminar groups, the lectures, the text will be in English, but Chevening's it's not going away. So if there are things that people can do to perhaps practice and enhance and do some work to just improve their English offer so that they can take part, because what we wouldn't want, as you say, is people going to the UK and then not being able to fully take advantage of that full offer, not just in the classroom as well. A huge part of what happens when you're over there is getting to meet people from around the world, other scholars, UK students, other international students. So if there are things that people can do here to try and get it up before they apply.
So Pawan, I have a couple of very interesting questions lined up for you, especially what happens if you do not succeed in your first attempt to get a Chevening scholarship? Can you apply again? And other questions. We've so far focused on just the applications bit, but what happens during the program? What can you expect when you're there as a Chevening scholar? What if you run into a problem? What are the challenges that you face? And more importantly, what are the opportunities that open up for you? कई दफ़ा ऐसा होता है कि पहली दफ़ा आप किसी चीज़ की अगर कोशिश करते हैं, ख़ास तौर पर स्कॉलरशिप्स की, किसी कम्पिटिटिव प्रोग्राम में शामिल होने की, और अगर आप उसमें यू आर अनएबल टू मेक इट, आप बहुत ज़्यादा डिसअपॉइंटेड और डिजेक्टेड फील करते हैं. लेकिन क्या आपको पता है कि चीवनिंग स्कॉलरशिप्स की अगर बात की जाए तो 2 या 3 अटैम्प्ट आपके नाकाम होना बड़ी नॉर्मल सी बात है. एंड दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वी आर री एम्फसाइजिंग. बट देयर इज़ नॉट एन अपर लिमिट. ना इसके कोई पैसे हैं, ना कोई फ़ीस है, ना ही इसकी कोई अपर लिमिट है कि आप 1 या 2 दफ़ा ही अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. आप अपनी किस्मत आजमा सकते हैं, आप अपनी एप्लीकेशन को बेहतर कर सकते हैं, आप अपने अप्लाई करने के अंदाज़ को, अपने एक्सपीरियंस को बढ़ाकर दोबारा री अप्लाई कर सकते हैं. दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू emphasize. Pawan, so in your observation, you've noticed that a couple of failed attempts is a norm and people don't give up.
Exactly that, exactly what you were saying. There are people that have applied 2, 3, 4 times and they've not lost heart. They've just recognized that this is what they want and they knew how much it meant to them. And each year they've done it, they've gotten some feedback. And what's been really wonderful to see actually is particularly some of our younger scholars that have just come back from the UK within the last 2 years. They're posting their tips on LinkedIn on this is how I did it and this is what I put in my form. They've even offered some mentoring as well. But don't lose hope and just keep getting feedback as well. Don't keep putting the same form in. Ask your friends, ask, you know, especially the alumni that have been to the UK and have done the scholarship. Get there.
Okay, I have a caller right here. Probably they have a question for you. Let's find out who is it. Hello, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you, Sidra?
जी बिल्कुल ठीक ठाक. Who is this? Please introduce yourself, and if you have a question, please let us know about that.
Okay, Sidra, this is Aisha from Karachi, and
Ji.
I want to ask 2 important questions regarding this fellowship.
Ji.
Number 1 is that what practical experiences are included in the fellowship? And the other one is that who will be the key speakers during this fellowship?
Wonderful question. Thank you so much for that, Aisha. I see a budding journalist in you. So for the SAJP program, the scholarship, when they're going away for 8 weeks as a journalist fellow, what can they expect, Pawan?
Yeah, great question. So it's an 8-week program that's delivered between the Chevening program, the UK Foreign Office and the University of Westminster. And it's a mix of in the classroom learning, so your conventional lectures, seminars, some hands-on training there as well. I think one of the most exciting parts of this though is that you also get to spend some really good time with UK media outlets, and it changes each year, but previous scholars have done The Guardian, the Financial Times,
Super.
the BBC, really big UK, globally recognised media institutions. And the other part of that is that you get to work with scholars from across South Asia. So Bangladesh, Maldives, Sri Lanka will all be working together and sharing challenges on good governance, what effective media looks like, how to stay safe, all of those things come together as journalists.
Is there a particular stream of journalists that this program invites? Like, do you need to be focused on current affairs, on economics and politics, or you could be a journalist with your own expertise and focus?
So there's generally been a focus on the kind of political and economy side, but it's not limited to that, and there are others that have got some kind of broad reporting skills that they've been able to use as well.
Yes.
And it's been a split of print, broadcast and online, so not any individual.
Very interesting, very interesting. And the deadline for that is the 10th of October. What are the 8 weeks that people are looking at from May to June 2025?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
right.
wonderful. And what about the Chevening scholarship programs? What can people expect when they're at the program? Because again, as you said, it invites a diverse group of people. They could be applying for different programs. What's the common thread? Do they get to meet when they're all there? Is there an angle to that?
So next week I'm really excited. We're doing I shouldn't be too excited. We're saying goodbye to those that are going out for this year's studies. So they all meet each other before they go out, and that's really lovely to do at the High Commissioner's residence, and she gets to say hello to them. When they're there, then we try and put people together in the city. So we get a lot, Pakistanis love going to London, it turns out. So there's a lot going to there. There's a lot going to Scotland, to Birmingham. And we do encourage them to meet amongst themselves as a group that goes from here. But of course to meet their students from the UK and from other countries as well. And the studies are a big part of it. It's a full-time master's course. There's a lot of time in the classroom, in lecture halls and studying. But you've also got some spending money to enjoy the best of the UK, to go to the theatre, to explore and to go hiking and to travel around as well. And it's up to students what they get involved in. There will be societies there, there'll be theatre schools, there will be, I think most universities now have a Pakistani society, cooking groups, so it's up to those individuals what they make of that experience. But from the pictures that we see of what they put on LinkedIn and on their Instagrams, it seems like they're having a great time.
Pawan, one last question, because what's different this year is, of course, the distressful news that has come very recently from UK. We saw that certain countries also decided to issue some travel advisories for their citizens. So has that changed the way? Is there any safety instruction that you're giving to the Chevening scholars this year? And what is the on-ground condition now?
Yeah, it was horrific. It is some of the worst events that I think I've seen in the UK in the last 10 years, and I think everyone was really mortified, and I say that as well of someone of Desi South Asian heritage, just watching those scenes from afar. The good news is that situation is well and truly under control. The government took some pretty quick action to basically get the police out on the streets, quell that down, and a lot of people have now been sentenced. But I think actually what came on the back of that was people from all faiths, all religions, all communities, all backgrounds actually coming back out and saying, look, this isn't what the UK stands for. We stand for diversity. And there was one imam in Liverpool who was just going out with food and fish and chips and feeding people. You saw people going out and just voluntarily out of their own money, out of their own time, repairing some of the shops that have been damaged. So it's been a couple of weeks now. Unfortunately, that all seems now to have passed.
I feel it's a challenge all around the world. There are opportunities that the hate mongers would always take up for inciting violence, and that's where we all need to come together as humanity. I think Pakistan has been at the receiving end of it, where we got a lot of bad press internationally. I feel you know, each one needs to play a part, and I'm sure that the Chevening Scholars and these wonderful programs that are being offered to meritorious students and professionals of Pakistan will help cultivate that environment of safety and of peace. Thank you so much, Pawan, for being a part of our show today.